Everybody, welcome to another episode of Motor Nation. I'm Kendall Rodriguez. Today, we're going to talk about, just right off the top of my head, why motorcycles are, why they are the way they are, and what makes them so popular for us as riders, and for those that are just enticed by it. Like, what is it about bikes that makes riding so attractive, and the lure and the constant call of the road, and what that means to me? So, in short, as a person, as someone who loves motorcycles, who I can't remember a day where I didn't actually think about riding a bike, but when I actually kind of dove into headfirst into taking a motorcycle safety course back in 2014, I think it was. Might be off by a year or two. But my thing is that when I got into riding, I didn't expect to have this obsession when I actually got my endorsement and I was able to kind of like ride on my own, and I've got my first bike. And when I rode off the dealership lot with my first bike, that the obsession would, I thought like, okay, fine. Like, I scratched that itch. It's gone. It's done. No. Ever since I bought my first motorcycle, I've been obsessed with motorcycles. I've been obsessed even more so with the fact that there are so many good-looking bikes out there. And it's not like a FOMO kind of thing, but you see it out in front of you, and you see and feel how powerful it is when you get out on the road and you start, you twist on that throttle, you find an open stretch of open road, whether it's for like a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, what have you, after you get through all of that traffic, especially here in New York. It's such a liberating feeling. And you start to feel the FOMO for real when you're in a cage, when you're in a car, or you're in a pickup or a truck or something like that, and you just feel so bad that you're not on a bike right now. And that's how it is for me. And I began over the years surrounding myself with, motorcycle memorabilia. I traded in one bike. I actually sold one bike, and I got another a couple of years ago, which is the 2013 Street Glide. And now I purchased, most recently over the summer of last year, a Triumph Bonneville T100. And to me, like, I used to think that I would probably be that kind of guy that was always brand loyal. And I don't think I am. I kind of... Lately, all I did before I bought my Triumph, I was all about Harley Davidson, right? I wasn't about sport bikes. I wasn't about any other kind of bike. I wasn't about riding any other thing other than Harley Davidson. But then my eyes got opened, and I started doing research on other bikes and wondering, like, why are these cafe racers so popular? What makes them so good, right? And I did my research, and I test rode a Triumph Bonneville T100, and man, I was blown away at the fact that a bike like that, right, could feel as good and be as maneuverable as it is for what it is. A British bike, not made in America, it's a British bike. It's not an American bike. And I know you guys are probably going to say, like, hey, everybody out here rides, Japanese bikes and, rides the sports bikes. But my eyes have been open since. And I'm, like, really happy. But I'm also a little bit more obsessed now because I want to ride more. I want to get on the seat of more bikes and try them out. I don't want to stop where I'm at. I mean, trust me, I took my Triumph out yesterday, and there's hardly any snow on the ground now. The weather is a little bit better. It's not the best, but it's a little bit better. It's still cold, but I'm looking forward to riding a little bit more and looking forward to getting maybe my next bike. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you ride what you have. until the wheels fall off, right? Or until you see something else that's nicer and then you trade your bike in. Maybe if you can afford to do so. But I think over the next like 10 years, I can see myself getting another bike or two. And that's without saying like, maybe I'll sell my other bike, and probably I won't. I have a Street Glide that really needs, in desperate need of repair, and I miss riding it. And I think maybe if I get that back up and running, then possibly I might be able to kind of, quell or quench that thirst that I have for riding a different kind of bike. So, with that said, I'm not going to keep you very long, but with that said, having a motorcycle and being able to do what I want to do and getting out on the road and experiencing that feeling when you get out there and feeling that rumble. And if you ride, and if you're watching this and you do ride, you know what it's about. If you don't ride, you don't know what you're missing out on. So, the question for myself, I guess, is, will the obsession ever end? Right? And I don't think that it's an obsession that will ever be quenched. It's a thirst that I don't think will ever be quenched, because I'm always looking at bikes. I'm like, oh man, that's sweet. Oh man, that sounds amazing. Look at that. And you're so amazed because they're literally works of art. They're just pieces of art. And that's what they are. And you get to experience them in a very, very real way. Anyway, so that's it. That's all I got to say. Like, comment, subscribe. I wanted to keep this really short. I didn't want to keep you very long. But then, subscribe to Moto Nation. And Moto Nation, thank you so much for watching and listening. And I'll talk to you on the next one.